Welcome back to Above the Grain. I'm Aaron Moore, and at Moore's Refinishing, we've restored thousands of pieces of furniture inside these walls. Pieces from grandma's little antique to museum quality showpieces. On today's episode, I'm going to answer another question from one of you. Today's question is, let me pull it up real quick. Which type of stripper do you prefer to use in your shop? That's an easy one for me. It's a brand called Benko. They're out in Tennessee. Let me go show you what it is. Right now, we like using the B4 and the B7. B7 is a little bit more of the liquid based, where we use the black like stripper buckets to do like stripping washes, like a flow system. If you're a professional, you know what that is. Right now, there's a lot of concerns with Benko using methylene chloride. If you go back to video day 27, you can go through all of that. I explained it in depth. Like I said, we do that. That's our number one preference, best stripper out there. They also have this one's here called B20. It's another stripper. It's very liquid based. It's sprayable, and this is no methylene chloride in this one, but it still is not eco-friendly. It's not real safe to use. You got to wear PPE. Then we also have the QCS. We don't use it in the shop every day. It does work. I like to use it and show you, which we have another video on that here on my channel. Go take a look at this in action. It works really well. It just takes longer to activate and start loosening up the stripper. No gloves are needed. No masks are needed. This one is safe to use inside your basements or garages and people who are in colder weather. So that works really well. And so what I'm going to do right now is we'll get set up. I'm going to show you how we use the B4 on a couple drawers. So Ivan got here this morning. He got the dresser done for this American by Martinsville. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to roll this out so I have more space inside the front of the shop. Because it is a little warm today, the sun is out. I want to just ensure that I have proper airflow when we're doing the stripping. So now that we got that pushed outside, I'll get set up, get a few of these drawers kind of just lined up. Just want to show you how the stripper works and how we go about stripping these guys. Next is getting on the thick gloves. I do have an Amazon store as well where all these products can be purchased. We order these online. Nobody here locally has these for sale. So these are the best and safest, and they don't beat up the fingers. Maybe we wear these out maybe once every 3 to 6 months. So a pair of these will last you, like I said, 3 to 6 months. You might do 2 pairs a year, and I believe they're only like $15, $18. So I said that part is really important. Proper protection. Normally we do wear masks and PPE. I'm going to have the fan on. We'll get some airflow, and we'll do it right here by the door, so that way I could explain to you what I'm doing. But you should wear PPE when you use these products on a consistent basis. Another important feature is putting on some goggles. These ones here are really nice. My wife gets them for free when she orders paper for her office. So we have probably a dozen of these goggles sitting around the shop. So we use them up. So the gel stripper you're going to see on this finish is going to melt it right off. I even stripped the 3 sides of that dresser pretty quick. So we know that this finish is it's worn out, it's thin. It's going to be easy to remove. I said put it on a little bit heavy, just like you see me doing here, because it's warmer. That airflow is blowing on it. It's going to want to dry on you. Kind of work with a purpose too. Do 2 pieces, 3 pieces at one time, so you're never stopping and just sitting here and watching paint dry or stripper dry. You can do multiple at once. Usually I'll do about 3, but for these videos I don't want to do too many. We'll just do 2 at once and just show you kind of how we go about the restoration part, or the stripping part of the restoration. You can see it, like I said, you can see it in real time. It's been about a minute, maybe a little bit longer. Get my scraper. We got our box. We'll set that up. And just carefully, you can start seeing that gel coming right off, and it's taking all the finish off with it. So this takes usually just about 1 good coat. So, you know, I see a lot of you using scrapers and all these other tools. When the finish is thin like this, the scrapers can cause more damage than, you know, than good. The stripper, like I said, it's quicker, it's faster. Grab a little bit of steel wool and just come down here. Just carefully go around it. You don't want to go fast because that steel wool can shoot up some of the little specks of stripper at you. Hence the reason we're wearing goggles. We don't want to get this in your eyes. It has happened before. You rinse them out, you go run to the eye wash station, rinse it out real quick, and not the big deal. We have thicker skin here too. Like, we can get this on our skin and it does not burn us to the same level of, you know, a newer finisher. We're kind of used to it. You can see here, okay, now it's maybe been 2 or 3 minutes and this drawer is done. It's ready to go to get washed and go on to the next step. We let this drawer sit a little bit longer because this is inside of the doors. This was not exposed to the sun and the, you know, just the elements as the out, you know, the exterior drawers. So you can see there's actually a lot more finish coming off that darker brown. So that's why you have to be able to adjust and realize and notice these things, because if you strip it the same way we just did the last one, you may be wasting more stripper because you have to put a second coat on, knowing that you were just a little quick with the, you know, with the removal of it. You see, look at that. 1 coat is all it took. We're going to just do our little bit of scrubbing. You can see it kind of powdered, not powders up, but kind of gets gummy, these little speckles on the face. Just keep working it with the grain. I try to go with the grain all the time. It will not hurt to do little circles, but then you have to sand that out in the next process. So we just try to, you know, lower that. Less work, the better. So I said this one here, you just kind of keep working the edge. We're gonna let this sit out. We're gonna grab some TSP and some water, and we're gonna wash these so that way they're ready to strip or ready to sand. You know, they can be sanded in a few hours. For us, probably tomorrow. So now we have all 3 of those drawers ready to go. First thing I need to do now is make up some water, which is in the bucket, and some TSP. And if you don't have TSP, you could use Lucky Charms because TSP is still inside of it. You just put a little bit in, kind of mix it around, and then we'll get some steel wool, and then I'm just messing with you. This is just about pay attention to the chemicals that are in your food. TSP is a natural product, but you probably shouldn't be eating it. So just pay attention to that. We're going to toss this and get some real TSP here in a minute. Now that I have the real TSP mixed up, it's time to just dive in. Usually we'll do this outside in the sun, but it's really bright out there for the camera. So just get my water and the TSP. Go ahead and scrub this clean. Just make sure kind of to scrub all 4 sides. What this is doing is removing any stripper that's left, as well as kind of cleaning out the pores. Just getting that last little bit. Let's see. It's kind of hard to show you, but yeah, it's dripping out some of the liquid when you do that. You can see it's really kind of orange. It's getting some of the stain and finish, you know, out of the pores. Gonna do that one. Dry it off real well. Then we'll set it out in the sun, let it dry for 10-15 minutes in the sun, and then we could remove the paper and get it back inside. Kind of work our way onto the next one. Give it the good scrubbing. You don't need to use lacquer thinner or acetone like a lot of people are saying to use online. The stripper on, like I believe it's on the case, says that it's water clean, soluble water cleanable, and that's what we do here. The TSP adds a little bit of viscosity to the water, so it doesn't dry up. It's a little bit more kind of soap like based without using. You don't want to use Dawn or any of those kind of soaps because they can have a lot of like silicone and waxes and things like that, which can get into the wood and cause you adhesion issues later down the process. So I said you could use plain water, you could use water with TSP, but don't use water in Lucky Charms. That will not work for you. I bet those little Lucky Charms with all those fake, food dyes will dye your furniture. Like, really not be good for you and the piece that you're restoring. I am not going to attempt that, at least not in this video, not today. Maybe in a future video we'll do that. We're going to let those dry. Ivan's going to continue the rest of the drawers, and then a nightstand that I showed you the other day. I'm going to put together like a $15,000 dining table. Let's go. So here we have that fill-upon dining table. You saw us, get started about a week ago. The tabletop is done. You saw me clean the metal yesterday. The last and final step, getting my goggles back on, and then we're going to start cleaning up the heads of these screws. We want to make sure the bottom looks as good as the top. So what we're going to do, I'm going to probably use both machines. I'm going to use the wire wheel to clean it, and then we'll polish it with the buffing wheel. So let's get both of them on. We'll take the head, clean off all the old paint that might be on it. I got a little bit more. I see one little spot. And then we'll come over here onto the buffing wheel and polish up that screw. It's all these little things that are going to take this piece to the next level. Being that it is this valuable, you really want to take care of every little single piece of the puzzle. You do not want to turn this and give it back to the customer in perfect shape, but the screws are left looking ugly and rusted and painted black. Not ideal. So we're going to do these, get those nice and clean. Like I said, we have about 10 screws, 20 screws to do. There we go. Nice and shiny and ready to go. All right, I got the last screw cleaned up. It's nice and shiny again, a little toasty, a little warm. But what we're going to do is come back over here and start trying to line up this first screw. Let me see, make sure that it lines up before we start trying to put all the screws in. And there we go. Perfect. So what we're going to do is work our way around, get these screwed back in, and then we will also take the screws from here. We'll just go on this one here. We'll go set this back in that groove and then try to find the corresponding hole. There we go. Here it was. And do the same here. As I said, now you can see the screws are nice and shiny, really clean. They match the consistency of the base. It's all chrome. You flip this table over, the bottom looks just as good as the top. That's what it takes to restore something of this value, that there are only a handful of these left probably in existence. Like you go online, you don't see many of these for sale. So I said it's really important to take it to the next level when restoring high-end pieces. First piece that's completed is this Antoine Philippon dining table. It's been restored. You said inside and out, top and bottom, whatever you want to call it. Every inch of this has been perfected. And this one's a little bit strange because it is teak, but the customer wants us to have it matched to the rosewood stuff that also goes with this piece. Rosewood and mahogany. So this has got a little bit of a different color than your standard teak dining tables. But look how it pops against the rosewood top, like the color, the chrome, and then those little brass feet. All these little subtle, pieces really add to this, add to the puzzle. It really is a gorgeous table. Come on in, you can take a look at it while I wipe it down. Now for this large, almost 8-foot credenza. I want to get your opinion though too, or not even opinion. If you know who made this, leave that in the comments down below. We don't know the manufacturer. It's Danish. I'm 99% sure it's Danish, but it's a rosewood plywood and solid rosewood legs. Like I said, all the doors are plywood with solid rosewood poles, but we don't know who designed this one. It's kind of a unique piece. We've never seen one exactly like this before. You'll see a lot of like Arnie Vodder in teak. You'll see a lot of those in this kind of style with the 4 doors. but the rosewood is definitely a little bit more unique, a little more rare. So help me out, figure this out, who designed it. It would just help me out to learn for myself as well. I could be a little bit better informed when customers are asking of their pieces, asking about their pieces. It is a gorgeous cabinet. And if you remember this piece too, this is the one that had the damage on the top where the veneer peeled off. That's all been fixed. All the scratches and the dents are gone. Also the fading, this thing was sun faded all over the top. We got that back to the original color, matched perfectly back to the original. She has a dining table that goes with this set. It's not the same designer, I don't think, but it's the same era of furniture. 1970s, I think, is when she said they purchased it. Early 70s, late 60s, if she remembers right. First owner, they bought it from the store themselves. So it's a really gorgeous piece. And if you want to get a piece restored by us, just send me an email, go to my website, click in the links in the bio, and we can get you a quote for your piece as well. And if you remember this desk, we're right in the middle of putting it back together. This is the one that came in with all the damage on the edges and being chipped up using an office chair kept hitting it. So this one is going back together. We're going to finish this one up probably after lunch. And then I want to just hop over and show you one more thing that I was talking to a lot of you on Instagram about. We were trying to ID this dining table. I want to bring that in and just explain what we found, and then we'll get out of here for lunch. If you've been following along on my Instagram, you're going to remember Morgan over from Back Alley Finds. This is her dining table, and it is a massive dining table. It is probably 6.5 feet. Then it has 3 20-inch leaves. This thing extends probably to at least 10 feet, maybe even 12 feet. We're going to measure it once we're working on it. But what I want to do from you, we don't know who designed this table. It has really nice legs. The top has got a really unique shape with a curvature on it. But we don't know, we haven't been able to ID it. So if you could leave a comment down below, if you know who designed this, it would really help me out. And it'll help Morgan out to figure out who designed this and knowing how much she could sell it for. We're gonna get this stripped and get it down the line and get it out of here. All right, I wanted to show this one off to you as well. We got it back together. This is the one that had all the burn through marks on the top. So you see, it looks really good. I'm really satisfied with this. I'm bummed that we had to redo this piece because we put so much energy into this years ago, and they just didn't take care of it. We had to bring it back to life once again. So we're gonna do one more kind of wipe down like I'm doing, get the dust off. I'm gonna send the pictures over to the customer, and then probably finish cleaning one more piece right behind you. I'll come show you that in just a second, but just come take a look. It's a gorgeous desk now. Would you want to have this in your home? Some history. This is a really historic desk. And another finished restoration is right here, where I don't think we're going to have enough time to get it back together, but what we're going to do is we're going to still clean up the hardware. We're going to clean up the base, clean up all the hinges, polish them up by hand, try to get them to have that same shine like the coffee table, and we'll get the doors put back on this tomorrow and hopefully get this back to the customer maybe on Monday. We'll get it out of the shop. So now the last thing I have time for today is we're going to get those clamps off of this Eames chair. We'll get this just removed. It's been drying for 24 hours, and like I mentioned in the last video, we keep this piece of paper so we could check that glue and make sure that it's hard, and it is. It's rock solid. So now we know we can throw that away, but now we know that this is really tightened up well. We'll come back probably tomorrow, start trying to remove some of these shock mounts. We just got the new shock mounts in today, so that's going to take 2 or 3 days to get those new ones installed and let them dry. That way we can get this chair back together and back to the customer. Stay tuned till tomorrow's video. You're going to see us get some of these pieces put back together, and we're going to show you that table for Morgan that we got the top stripped on, and you're going to see the really weird outline from whatever was left on top. So see you tomorrow.